the reMarkable tablet, right? So these here, 1, 2. These are Eink writing devices, right? And they were built for note-taking and sketching mainly, but they also let you do some reading, and you can notate on documents, like, e-documents type of thing. And they offer a paper-like experience. Now they've taken the next step of adding a subscription plan to their offering. Let's talk about what they are, what that means, separate the truth from the misinformation, and why this is a sign of good things to come. Yes, really. Let's get started. Okay. Sorry, I had to make sure I wasn't running over the pup paws. He's not in his usual spots. Okay, so we're going to talk about this. Okay, so this is the reMarkable 1 tablet. This is the reMarkable 2. You'll notice that there is a stylus involved. So for the folks who are new to this device and haven't been around for these conversations before, I'm just going to level set a little bit so that everybody's on the same page. You know I'm a fan of that. Also, it gives me a chance to bring up my little notes here because I want to talk about what's going on. There's a whole lot of brouhaha going on right now, but don't panic because it's not really. It really isn't that big a deal. Hey, Stacy, hello. Thank you for cruising by. You know a bit. Okay, awesome. So these are Eink devices. This is what they were sold for. This is what they were built for. This is what the whole point of them are, right? It's a focus device. It is a way for us to replace the piles and piles of paper that we all have. Of course, I go reaching for paper and I don't have any because I hardly use it anymore, right? But the legal pads and the notepads and the notebooks and all that kind of stuff, I take notes constantly. If I don't take notes, I don't remember things. That's just how it is. Like, if I don't write it down, it didn't happen. That's just how my brain processes. So these are Eink writing devices. This is their purpose, right? And they're awesome for note-taking and sketching. That is what they were designed for. They also added in a little extra benefit of being able to use e-documents, right? So EPUB, PDF, that type of thing, so that you can notate on them, right? So documents, books, tech books, that type of thing. What's amazing about this, and I'm going to show you in a minute, just some of the other devices that I had tested before I'd gotten this, because I've been on a search for this type of device for a very long time. But the thing that blows everything else away for me is the fact that this is as close to paper as anything I've ever tried. It's just fabulous because it's got all the perks of paper with all the perks of digital. Now, it's a pricey device, okay? This is not a mass market device. This is very much a specialty device, right, for a certain audience. Okay, so that said, we're going to talk about what they are and all that, but the reason we're having this conversation tonight is because they have just taken the next step in their evolution, which is offering subscription plans. I'm going to talk about what that offers and all that, and why everybody is pitching a hissy fit. Not everybody, but a lot of people. And we're going to clear up some things because a lot of the people that are upset for no reason, right? Because they think they've lost something that they actually haven't lost. Stick with me and we're going to get into this, okay? So let me just, again, for the people who aren't familiar with it, this is a way to just have like an unlimited notebook, practically unlimited notebook. I mean, everything has a threshold. So you don't have to worry anymore about your pen running dry or running out of paper. The thing that makes it just irreplaceable for me is not only can I sit and focus and do the work I need to do or doodle, whatever it is that I need to do in that moment. The other problem I always had with paper notepads was I would get all this stuff down. I'd have all these great ideas. I'd take all these notes. And then in the moment when I needed that information, it was always someplace else other than with me, right? I mean, that's just how life goes. With these Eink tablets, you can sync it to your desktop and or your mobile device, because there are apps that you can install that then gives you access to these genius thoughts that you write down, or amazing, pictures you sketch out, or workflows or whatever, wherever you are. There's also ways that you can share what you're doing, either by sending somebody a copy of it or sharing it live, which I've done other videos on. So here I'll put the little thing for the people who are rewatching. The sharing thing has gone from it kind of works, to, oh my God, it's amazing and I can't live without it anymore, and I use it several times a week. So there's that. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so Tig is one of my people, right? Notepads everywhere, starting a notepad every week, right? Me too. But are the things that you write down with you when you need them? See, that for me was the trick. They were never with me when I wrote them. Now, the way my brain works, it just so happens that sometimes, writing it down, the act of writing it down made it easier for my brain to remember, but I still wanted the pieces of paper, especially because a lot of the work I do is designing process flows and workflows and all that kind of stuff, and this is great for that kind of thing. Just great to have the focus. And Marcus makes an excellent point. Absolutely. Some people just like to be upset. Some people see that other people are upset and like to capitalize on it. That's not my move. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's not me. So that's not what we're going to do here. We're going to take the stress out of it. We're going to get down to what's really going on, just facts, keeping it calm, because I don't have the energy for any more stress. I don't know about you. All right, so I'm just going to go through some details here to get everybody on the same page. Here we go. Although, by the way, Canva presentations, big fun. Okay, I guess I could do this with me on the screen, since I left myself room to be on the screen. All right, so as I said, these are e-ink tablets. The point of them from the beginning, the reason they created this was because they wanted something that felt like paper and had all those benefits, but also gave focus while offering the digital benefits, okay? So replaces paper, encourages focus, practically unlimited pages. That's key for me, because that's another thing. I tend to have these bursts of ideas as the paper is running out or the pen is dying. Thin and lightweight. Okay, so this is in a cover, right? And look at... So this is the other thing for me, especially since my back went south on me. I don't have to carry 5 or 6 notebooks anymore. And my reference guides, because being in IT, I always have to have reference guides in my fingertips, because it's all here. This is all I have to carry. It's wonderful. And my goal is not to have this be any thinner, okay? I was perfectly happy with the first one, okay? That was a pretty good size too. But, this is a case where lightweight and having everything in one place is really awesome. Okay, let's keep going. We got a lot to talk about. Okay, so the pen never runs dry. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. And I tend to collect pens, which means that, sometimes you reach for one and it's dry because you haven't used it in a while. Now, I will say that, it has a stylus, okay? And, well, look at this. This is my other stylus. This is a stylus for a different device. Okay, so this is the stylus for the reMarkable 2. So, yeah, you do have to replace the nib every so often. You can barely see it on this one. It's right there. I don't think it's any easier to see on this one, because they're always the same color. This is the reMarkable 1. So it's just a little thing that you have to pull out every so often and replace with a new one. Not a big deal at all. Super simple. Of course, again, I don't have anyone handy, but... that's really the only thing you have to do, is just keep an eye on that, and you start to get the feel for it. You'll feel when it starts to wear down. But that's the only thing. It doesn't run. Okay, there's no battery. Okay, so that's the other big thing about this. This is like Wacom is the one that came out with this idea of a stylus that not tethered, no battery, does not need to be charged. It just does its thing, and like I said, you just have to do the nub every so often. There are apps, right? Desktop and mobile apps for whatever device you're on, whatever devices you like, so that's all good. You can import and export documents. So the way that you do that is using the desktop app, so that's super handy. Real-time screen sharing. Okay, so in the beginning, I was doing that, so over here, you can't really see it, but I have a webcam set up as an overhead cam. That's how I was screen sharing, but now you can actually screen share to the app and then share it through whatever meeting tool you're in, which is awesome. Oh, I already skipped ahead and told you about the stylus. Doesn't need anything. And it's pressure sensitive. I know Stacy will like that. It does give you the paper experience. Like when you're writing with this, it feels like you've got a notepad in your hand and you're just writing. Okay, the finish that they have on it, there's just enough drag to make it feel like a pen on paper. It's completely, responsive, so there's no delay when you're going to write. It's a very natural experience with all the digital flexibility. It supports 33 languages. Personally, I'm impressed by that. I can barely speak one most days. And it supports cursive and block letters. So however you choose to write, it does a pretty good job of understanding it. If you're going to use the handwriting to text feature. In the beginning, I used that a lot. I don't use it so much anymore. I think I used it in the beginning just because it was cool. But I was surprised because my handwriting is terrible. Like, I could be a doctor. My handwriting is so bad. But it did a really good job of translating it. So that I was impressed by. Okay, it handles the PDFs and the EPUBs, like I said. Now, the one caveat there is some people run into problems. If you have a super mega large PDF file, sometimes it will choke on that. Also, if the EPUB has digital rights management on it, that it won't be able to handle. So just so you know. This next one, okay, this one here, okay, this is the other game changer for me. It is not uncommon for me, and I'm not exaggerating, to spend 15 to 20 hours looking at screens, okay? It's my day gig, it's my side gigs, like, so my eyes hate me most days. Like, I always have, and there's probably have one in my pocket. Let's see. Yeah. Okay? Eye drops. Okay? I go through these things like air because, you know, I'm constantly looking at the screens and your eyes are not fans of that. You don't blink enough, all that kind of stuff. So being able to switch away from my other devices, whom I love, don't let anybody crash, I love you all, but being able to switch over to this, which doesn't have the glare, it's like looking at paper or a book, right? There's no reflection, there's no backlight, which is a good thing because the backlight is what tires your eye out, right? Again, another lifesaver. Love it, love it, love it. No eye strain, no glare, can go on for hours and hours. It's fabulous. I'm a fan, can you tell? It is readable in sunlight. The only other device that I have that I can claim that 100% is my Kindle. Those two devices I can take outside and I can read and work with and do all that kind of stuff. You can take any of your online documents and you can make notes on them. Just like, I mean, personally, I don't write in books. It's just a thing with me. It makes me a little twitchy to see people do it, but I know that they do. But you can make notes on it and all that without harming your document because it's, you know, a layer over the top. So like if you're editing something for somebody, or if you're talking about maybe rearranging a layout or whatever, you can do the circles and the arrows and all that kind of stuff and share it that way, it's great and it's intuitive. Either you know this phrase or you don't, but if you are into sketchnoting, these things are phenomenal. Again, endless, right? Almost an endless notebook. So while you're at a meeting or you're doing whatever and you're taking your notes, you are good to go. So it's fabulous with that. Also, again, and we'll get into some more detail, but you can now sync to Google Drive or Dropbox. You can do a couple different ones. So there is that. Okay, so we're going to get into some of the stuff in a second here, but I do see that we're getting comments. So let me just see if there's anything I can address right now. Somebody had their email hacked after registering your Mark II today. You're greeted with a payment plan only. No, that's not true. Not able to get support. The old one, Mark II, they're not charging. Okay, hang on. Okay, hang on. We're going to get to this. You're getting bad information. So I guess Tig, I had a feeling Tig was going to be, I'm guessing that this was about the pressure sensitivity. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can also change. So like you can do a ballpoint pen, you can do a marker, you can do a pencil. And you can go with different widths for the nib. So it's all cool. It's all very, very cool. Okay, so let's keep going here because I do want to get through this so we can get into the other stuff. Now, this is, as I said, okay, this is a paper tablet. It is e-ink. It is a paper tablet, however you want to look at it. That means, okay, it doesn't do email, okay? The whole point of this device is to be focused. So there's no notification. You don't surf the web on it, right? It's about focus. It's about detaching from the interruptions and irritations of technology. I love it, but it has its moments. So that you can focus on what it is you want to do, right? So you can kind of tune out and focus and put all your energy into whatever it is you're working on, whether it's solving a problem or making plans or whatever. This is an area where people get a little confused because a lot of people are looking at or have purchased this device and then complain about the fact that it's not a computer, okay? It was never designed to be a computer, and your key there was the fact that it said e-ink digital paper. Nothing in there said anything about being a computer. We have computers. It is the solution for when you don't want to be doing something on a computer, and yet you want the flexibility of digital. So that's really important, and that's frankly where a lot of this angst is coming from. Whoops, come back. So yes, there's no social media connection, okay? There's no distractions. That's why I love this device. That's why I'm such a fan of it. That's why I coughed up the money. I won't kid you. When I bought the first one, I hesitated on it for a long time. That was a lot of money for me to put it out for something that, especially at that point, I mean, I don't remember if it was actually a Kickstarter. I meant to go and look. But when it first came out, like, I had never had anything else, like that. And the price is not insignificant. I'm not lying to anybody here at all. I'm not going to mislead it. It was a little pricey. But I have been looking for this. So let me show you. I'm going to show you just some of the devices that I was able to land my hands on pretty quickly that I've been trying to find as, trying as a solution. Okay, so this is a mini boogie board. Okay, so the idea of this was, I can't even get the cover off. So it's got a little stylus, right? And then you would draw on it. You can't really see, I don't think. It's hard to see. It gives you there it is, a very fine line. But you could like make a quick note. And, the nice thing about it is you press the button and then it goes away. So from a, sustainable, not wasting paper, having something handy with you to make a quick note, this was okay. But that's it. I mean, that's what it did. There's no saving it. There's no sending it. I mean, the solution I used when I was using this a lot was to take a picture of it with my phone if it was something that I needed, like it was a phone number or something like that. Also really handy when the kids were young. I could hand them this when they were whiny if we were out someplace and let them doodle away forever and not, again, have to worry about them running out of power or anything on it. Then there was the bigger version of that. Okay, so this is the, what did they call this? So this was just a boogie board also, but this was a bigger version of it. Also came with a stylus. Okay, and it's the same kind of thing where, you power it up and then you would draw on it. But again, it was a very fine thing. You didn't have a lot of options. I think you can just barely make that out. The difference with this was it did have an app that you could sync to, so there was a form of backup. So it was okay, and, you could draw on it, you could sync it, then you would erase it, and then you could start over again. So this was sort of the idea, but you'll see, like, even with this, like, how shiny it was. And you didn't have a lot of flexibility. Like, those lines, they're not just, light and a little hard to see on camera. They're a little light and hard to see in real life. But at that point, this was, again, the closest I could find. Oh, wait, there's more. Okay? The Chromebook. So the Chromebook was also, part of the thing about this, because this was a convertible one, right? So it worked as a clamshell, laptop. But you could also do this. And it comes with a stylus, right? And so you could draw on it and write on it and all that kind of stuff, right? So this, there's different apps. So you could get different nub sizes and all that kind of stuff. And you could write it, and you could save it and all that kind of stuff. But, again, it's glare, okay? It's backlight. So, my eyes get tired really fast. And because it's a Chromebook, it's connected to the web. And I was getting my notifications, and oh yeah, there's some games on here maybe, and oh, I would get an email notification. Where the heck is the stylus thing going? Here it is. So it was okay. It's also heavy, but it was something else that I tried. As was, and I swear to you, this is just such a small sampling of all the things I've tried over the years. This I can't even boot anymore. I don't even know where the plug is for this. But this is a Samsung Galaxy tablet. Had to, buy a special stylus for it. It's kind of looks like a pen. Again, it worked. It was heavy, but look at the freaking reflection on that, right? And again, it's basically, it's pre-Chromebook, but it's same thing, notifications and email and, hey, you want to go out for lunch and, hey, there's an update to your game. And so many distractions. And not a lot of focus. Also, I mean, at that level, there weren't a lot of great apps for taking notes. There were some. Whoops. Hang on, let me make that fix. Come back. There we go. Okay. Okay, what is the problem here? Okay, I gotta refresh that. Hang on. See? This is what I mean. Distractions. Technology fighting back. It was working, and now it's not. Yes. And yes. Okay, so there we go. So there's probably more in here, but that gives you a feel for what I've been talking about. There were a lot of things before this. This has everything that I want, nothing I don't want, and it doesn't have the glare. So there is that. Squirrel, yeah, completely squirrel. And that's the problem. And I mean, that's the problem for a lot of us. So, but it just, oh, right, so I brought the Kindle too. Just so you could see that, it doesn't have a lot of glare, right? And this is something that I can read outside pretty well. I will say, I've got a couple of the Kindles too. I can do this outside. I can absolutely do this outside. It's a fine line. Like, it depends. If the sun's at the right angle, sometimes this is a little bit of a glare on it, but not too bad. But enough to, sometimes the reMarkable is just a better way to go. So, okay. I think we've covered all of the basics of what it's got and what it doesn't have. Okay, and why it shouldn't. So the core of this, for anybody who's new to it and thinking about getting it or thinking about getting it as a gift, is that this is not the device that is going to replace your computer, your laptop, your phone. Okay, if you're looking for a device that's going to do everything for you, email, notifications, all that stuff, web surfing, even things like, invoices and, doing client relations and all that kind of stuff, marketing, okay? That's not what this is, okay? And it was never intended to be, okay? And when you read what they say about it, that's very clear. This was targeted to people who needed to focus, to write, to plan, to solve problems. It was targeted for businesses, for students, for professors, that type of audience. So, yeah, okay, it's not for everybody, and that's okay. The people right now who are getting very angry about the fact that it doesn't do all the things a computer does are missing the point. I'm sorry, but that's what this is. You're missing the point. You either purchased or want to purchase a device because you've heard things about it, and it's cool, and it's neat, and it is. But if your expectations are not going to map to what it provides, you're going to be unhappy. That's just life. So it's not the device's fault, because the device does exactly what it said it would do. And frankly, it's exactly why I love it, and why, even though the first one was pricey, I even bought the second one, which was still pricey, because I found it that useful. I use both of these every day. Every single day I use both of these. I rely on them for a lot. So, let me just, real quick, because I'm realizing that I didn't do this yet. For the folks who don't maybe know who I am and have just come across this because of this particular topic, my name is Kathleen. I'm Here's Your Tech Coach. I come every week with a topic. You are always welcome to bring other questions. But the reason I do this is because technology is my day gig and my hobby. So I live in this world, and I know that not everybody has a tech friend that they can turn to when they have questions or they want some advice about something, which is why I started doing this show, because I offer advice to my friends, neighbors, co-workers, and their friends, neighbors, and co-workers, but that still doesn't reach everybody, which is why we're here. So don't be afraid to reach out. That's what we're here for. Okay, that is not what I wanted to hit. I wanted to hit that. All right, so with all of the things that this does and all the things that it doesn't, right, we've got that covered. Let's now talk about what's going on. And that is, this company has been around for a few years now. I went back and I looked, and the first device that I got from them, I got in 2017. So it's been more than a minute. They have been surviving on hardware purchases. Okay, and that's how you start off with something like this, right? You start off with something to sell and hope that people want it, proof of concept, and that's what they did. And then they came out with the second one, and of course, even better. Like I said, I rely on these things heavily. These are my go-to devices for most of the things I do. I have personal stuff on it, I have work stuff on it, I have client stuff on it, because that way I've got it. So whenever somebody calls or emails, I've got everything I need right there. I've had a little voice in the back of my head going, man, I hope these people are sustainable. I hope these people are building out a plan, because I know just from living in the technology world that you cannot survive forever just by selling devices, right? Because they were offering, free cloud service and all. They kept updating the software and providing new features, and I'm like, this is not sustainable, right? You can't do this off of a one-time purchase. I still have my original one. My original one works fine. The only reason I got the second one is because I felt I needed a treat that day. I could very well keep using this because they are still 100% supporting this original device. This device has all the features and functionality of this one, even as they've added new stuff like the screen share and the cloud storage and all that kind of stuff. So I've been a little concerned, but, keeping my fingers crossed because I couldn't do anything about it. But when I heard that they were coming out with subscriptions, I was very happy because subscription plans are a way for a company to have reliable income coming in, which means that they can keep giving us new stuff. And the new stuff, like they've been giving us over the past couple of months, they have thrown all kinds of new functionality at these that I was frankly surprised to get. I mean, the screen share, they had a version of screen share. It was okay. It kind of mostly worked. When I heard that they were coming out with a new version and I saw it in the beta, I'm not kidding, I was blown away. I could not believe how much better it was, how fast it was, how responsive. And they just put it out there. I was like, this is something they should be charging for because it's really that good. And from a business standpoint, it's a wonderful tool, especially with what's been going on to have. And I think that's why they did it the way they did. My suspicion, I have no inside knowledge. I do not work for them. I don't know anybody there. But again, working in IT, doing software development, my suspicion is that much better version, improved version of screen share was something that they were planning to charge for. But they released it early to people because of everything that's going on, because it is such a valuable thing for all these online meetings. Phenomenal. The Google Drive thing, I did not think that they were going to go there because they do offer their own syncing. Now it makes sense with the subscription thing coming out. I was like, oh, okay, now I understand. But so they're looking for all kinds of things to make this better while staying true to the purpose of these devices. And that's a good thing. And we're going to get more of that because they're going to be able to afford to pay their employees. You know what? Employees like to get paid. I know, another shocking thought, but nobody's doing this at that company as charity work, okay? They have mouths to feed, they like living indoors, all that kind of stuff. So in order for the company to continue to grow, to get better, one of the things I do hear a lot of complaints about is customer support. Customer support is hard and expensive. So yeah, I'm sure that they want to make their customer support better, but in order to do that, they have to be able to pay people to increase their customer service staff to take care of more people more quickly. So again, this is all the reasons why I think this is a phenomenal thing. Now, I understand that not everybody is going to be able to pay for it, and that's okay because they've got you covered. And we're going to get into that in a second too, but you're not, let's skip ahead a little bit. You're not losing anything really. So yes, so anybody who has either already has the one or has the two prior to the 12th of October, 2021, is going to keep all of the extra stuff that they've thrown at us in the past couple of months. So all the people I see who are, stomping their feet and having a hissy fit, basically, who already have the devices, I'm like, I don't get it because you're keeping everything. So what do and then there's some righteous indignation. Well, the new people, it's like the new people are going to know what they're getting into. And here's the thing. Until the past couple of months, we didn't have the Google Drive, the Dropbox, the improved screen sharing, all this other stuff. So I'm sorry, I don't see the big wound here. You're not losing anything, first of all, if you've already got it. And second of all, if you're buying into it, you may not even need it. This is the other, part of the big picture here is I don't really use the email. I did in the beginning a lot, but I don't really need to as much anymore because I've got screen share. And so in meetings, I can just share it and everybody's like, okay, good. And then we move on. So, the option is there if you think you need it. The new people who are going to be buying it, they're going to be packaging it with a 3-month trial or 3-month subscription. Sorry, not trial. Don't get excited. 3-month subscription to the full plan. And then at that point, you can choose to keep it or not. So let's just talk about the plan a little bit. Let me lose that. Not that one. That's good. Okay. So there's a bunch of information on the website about it. So I would have worded this differently because to me there's 3 levels, but they're right. There's 2 plans and then no plan are your options. Okay, so there's Connect Lite, and then there's no plan. So Connect Lite going forward is going to be a lot of the cool stuff that they've given those of us who were there to support them from the beginning for free, which I think is a nice thing. They did not have to do this, but they're saying, hey, you folks helped us get to where we are. You folks helped us test and get this new stuff out there. You're going to keep this. So that is the unlimited cloud storage, the access to Google Drive and Dropbox. I've heard rumors that they're going to add to that list. The handwriting conversion, where you can scribble, and if it can understand it, it will turn it into text for you. The new and improved screen share. The fast sync, which is already kind of out there, so it's just a faster way to do the syncing between the device and the cloud and your software apps. The send by email. They have increased the guarantees, the return period, to 100 days. I think it was 60 days beforehand. And they extended the warranty for 36 months for the people using the full Connect plan. Most people aren't going to need all that kind of stuff. I can tell you a lot of people I know who have the device who didn't even know that you could do the email thing and some of this other stuff. So there's offered another version because some people don't want to pay for stuff they're not using, which is why they offered the Lite version. Okay, and the Lite version gives you the cloud storage, which is great because that means that your stuff exists in the cloud, on your mobile device and your desktop if you want, and on the tablet itself. If you don't want to pay for anything extra, you don't have to. Okay? You can just go ahead and use the tablet, write your documents. You can still sync. Okay, so come back. I want to make sure you're hearing this, okay? If you go with the no plan, okay, where you're not paying every month, you can still sync your documents to your desktop and your laptop and or your mobile device, depending on where you put the app. You can put it in all the places if you want. This is the thing that a lot of people are missing. They're like, I'm not going to be able to do anything. It's just, well, first of all, I mean, to be perfectly frank, even if I just wrote notes on this and saved them, this is still a viable thing for me. Maybe not for you, but for me, that's all I freaking need. It's a nice bonus that even without paying, I would still be able to sync. So that means if you're working on a document, if you're editing a document, you're scribbling notes on it, you're not actually typing, let's be clear, you can still save that, sync it to and from your computers and your phone, and still get it. And the flip side of that is you can still go to the apps and put a document in them that will sync to your device, okay, with the no plan, okay? What you're losing out of that is the unlimited forever storage on the cloud. So the point is that if let's say that you've created a document, you have synced it to the applications, and by doing that, it's also synced to your cloud storage that you get for free through them. If you don't keep working on that for a period of 50 days, they're going to delete it from the cloud. That does not mean that they're deleting it from your computer or your phone or from the tablet itself. Okay, so let's bring this down a level, folks. You're still going to have it. It's just not going to actively keep syncing it because let's face it, if you haven't touched the document in 50 days, you're not doing much with it, okay? I mean, pretty much at that point, for me, that means it's just archive. So that's all you're losing, is that you're not going to be able to, for free, store stuff on their cloud forever. I don't think that's unreasonable. I really don't. I know that there are people who disagree. I'm seeing it everywhere. But just to be clear, because people are not articulating this part of it, okay? So there's 3 levels. One is all the bells and whistles and unlimited storage. One is just unlimited storage on the cloud. And one is you can still sync and do all the things and use the device all you want. You're just not going to have the cloud backup, but it will still be on your device and in the applications. Do we have any questions on that? Because that for me is like a big deal right here. I just want to make sure that we're very clear. And if you're watching this on the replay and you have a question about it, go ahead and put it in the description. Let's just all, keep the energy level neutral about this, okay? Because we don't need to get hysterical. And there's a lot of that out there. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to address, because, again, a lot of activity around this, again, getting back to the fact that a lot of people have one or the other of these devices, and for whatever reason feel the need to hack them. Okay, that's fine. You've got an electronic device, you want to hack it, that's fine. There are devices I do that with, devices I don't. I don't feel the need to with this because it serves the purpose I need it for. But if you've chosen to hack your device and then you apply an update from the company to the device to get some new functionality or just, to see what else is there, yeah, the odds are really good that your hack is going to go away. So if you're not okay with having to reapply your hack every time, then again, this might not be the device for you, because you're not buying the hack from reMarkable. Okay, they're not putting the hacks out. You're getting them from a third-party service, which is fine, right? I don't think there's anything in their terms and conditions that says you can't, but you're doing that at your own risk. And the fact that people think that reMarkable should be responsible for the third-party hack that you bought is not rational. It just doesn't make any sense. They've got enough to do. They're stressed. They've got, too many plans, I'm sure, and not enough people, because that's how this all works, in the real world. So, yeah, if you want to hack, go ahead, hack away, have a good time with it. But don't be surprised that you're going to have to reapply that hack after a major update. That's the truth about anything. Like, if you buy any electronic device and you hack it, right? Where did it go? If I took my watch, which is missing right now, here it is, okay? So if I took my watch, which is an electronic device, and I decided that I was going to hack it, okay, and then the company did an upgrade on it, yeah, I would expect that hack went away, and I would either be okay with that or I wouldn't be. But that's the way it goes. The conversations that people are having about, well, it doesn't have a backlight, and it doesn't, I can send the email but I can't respond to an email, and all that kind of stuff. Again, this is a disconnect between what the device was built for and how it was designed and how it's being sold, and unreasonable expectations. Okay, so this for me, and I had a discussion with somebody about this earlier, but I'm holding to this. If you ordered a tractor, okay, or a combine or a hay baler or whatever big equipment you're spending a lot of money for on a farm, and then you turned around to the company that you bought it from and had a problem with the fact that you can't use that tool to sail to the Bahamas, and when they didn't give you a solution that would let you take that tractor and use it to sail to the Bahamas, you went on the internet and started screaming about it, I would hope that most rational people would go, well, yeah, you bought a tractor, why do you think you would take that? But evidently that's not what's happening in this case, and this is what it is, okay? This is not a computer. This is not an email device. This is not something that you're going to watch Netflix on. It was not sold to you implying that you could or would. So again, if it's not for you, that's fine. Not everything is for everybody, and they're very clear about the fact that this is not for everybody. But the level of anger that people are coming across with about this, I don't understand, because that's how they sold it. They sold it as a device for people who wanted to do writing and note-taking and all that kind of stuff. So again, if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to cover that, but this is where we're at. And while you're thinking about that, I'm going to just show you real quick. So in addition to, and I mentioned this earlier, being able to just take the stylus and write on this, or use the app and import a PDF or an EPUB and put it on the device so that you can read it or note take on it or whatever. You can also, there's a plugin for, I know at least Chrome, I don't know if it's any other browsers, where you can do this, right? So this is pretty much their pattern for anything that you add on. You can put in a one-time code that you get from the my.remarkable.com site. And the point of this thing here is that you can then send web pages to your device. Again, we're having a disconnect. Okay, the point of this was so that you could read the text from the website. It is not magically going to make this device a web surfing tool. It is not magically going to make it so that you can click on the link and go someplace else. It is just taking the page that you trigger the extension on and send it to the device. That's the beginning, middle, and end of it. Whether that is a convenience for you or not is a personal choice. You can see I have not activated it because I don't really want web pages on here. But I know that there are people who do a lot of research and stuff, and so that would be helpful. So that is also an option that is still going to work for you no matter which level of plan you pay for or don't pay for. Because again, it's all just about the sync, and the sync is something that is going to stay. It's not, that's core to this, that they're not taking away. So you're okay on that score. You're just not going to be able to save that web page to the cloud forever if you're not paying. That's it. That's all there is. It's okay. All right. I figured this was going to be a long one. We're going a little long here. So let me just see if there's any. I'm sure I've skipped ahead. So let me just go back and see. Also, just so you know, and I will put, I didn't think to do this before, but I will put the links to the things I've shown you here. I'll put them in the description so you can find them. There's a ton of information on their website also, which I just found out today not everybody knows. This one. There are user guides that you can go and get all kinds of information about what you can do, what you can't do, what's been in the software updates. So I will make sure that I add these links for you to make it easier for you to go and get that information that you need. They're well written, actually. I've done tech writing, so I tend to evaluate that kind of thing. Okay. So I think that pretty much covers. So, okay, some of the questions I've heard. Does reMarkable 2 work without Connect, which I just explained? It does. You can still take your notes. You still have all the stuff. You can do the sync. You're good. They've got all the details about their warranty online, so you can go and read it. And yes, depending on where you are in the world, there are different rules because there are different requirements by different governments. So that's all covered. Can you access your notes and documents from the computer or phone? Yes, you can. So that is covered as well. Again, it's all about the backup. That's really what it comes down to. So you'll be good on all that. Okay. So that's where we're at. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you're looking for more information, I'm happy to, help out as much as I can. Understand, I don't work for them, okay? So I'm not tech support. I can't fix all that kind of stuff and all that, but I can provide the information based on my own experience with it and the information that I have gathered from reading every single thing that comes out, every email that they've got. I've had a couple of chats with tech support. So yeah, we've had some conversations. So I'm happy to help you with whatever, but if you have any questions, feel free. But it's a great device. It is not a device for everybody. That's really what this comes down to for me. If you are grandfathered in, yes, you're going to get all of the things that you've got in this moment. Could they at some point in the future come up with something new and maybe not include it if you're not paying? Maybe. But again, who the heck knows the future, right? I mean, yeah, we could speculate about all kinds of things, but what we know today is they have the plans. You can choose to go with them or not. They're not going to reach out and nuke everything off your device, so you can rest easy on that score. Everything is good. And if you have any questions, yes, you can reach out to tech support, but they are swamped. So do yourself the favor of going and looking online because they do have the information there for you. All right? Everybody's good? Okay. So hopefully that has cleared it up. Payment plan is only for people who have just purchased it. So hopefully we've cleared that up for the person who was asking about it. Okay. I love it. It may not be the right device for you, but for those of us who love it, it is an amazing thing. And for everybody else, there are other options. If you want something that you can take your notes on and travel with fairly lightly, but you still want computer access, I would seriously consider looking at a convertible notebook. Now, understand, not all, some Chromebooks, that's what I meant, notebooks too now. Okay, so some Chromebooks only do this. You're going to want one, that's a convertible, or what do they call it, a 3-in-1 or whatever. If you want to be able to work in this format, you can do that. The Surface Pros do that. Actually, my Dell computer laptop does that now too. And you can do the stylus and all that kind of stuff. If you are, really into wanting one device to do it all, you can do that. There are now styluses that there's been an agreement made, and I think right now there's 3 versions of a stylus that will work on most devices that are, stylus friendly. we're talking Windows, Chrome. It's a little fuzzy still about Mac. I think eventually it'll be there. So you have options, okay? If this is what's important to you, if what you want is something that you can make notes on and still do all the other stuff, then this may not be for you because that doesn't do this, but there are other things out there. There are other options. So the trick here, when you're buying any technology, is to make sure that you are carefully reading the explanation of what the device is going to offer and compare that against what you need. And if they don't match up, then it's not the right device for you. Okay? All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I always bring a topic. You're always welcome to come and join and bring your own topics. But either way, I hope that you have a good week and that you find the technology that works best for you. I will see you next week. Bye.